Right then, let's get straight into it. Heroic versus Big. We need to look at the vetoes and see where this is going down. Heroic had some changes recently,
Yes.
and I don't know how much we can really expect from them at this point.
Yeah, they lost someone that's big. Blame.
Maybe it's
dude.
part of the reason why they had such an awful first week as well. Even though they had two players coming in,
Yeah.
also Blame's now gone. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Well, they picked Nuke. I mean, that's a pretty interesting
strong pick,
given the fact that you just lost your in-game leader.
Yeah.
Perhaps the structure is there. Dust 2, Nuke, and Inferno. This is weird. I think both teams. I mean, it's still new for Big. I feel like they're still in a transitional period, which doesn't mean more roster changes, but figuring out what's what. No God B. I don't know, man. I'm going into this with an open mind. I will favor Big, but I haven't seen much of them post God B, so I don't know where they're at currently at. You know, I can form in the server.
Given the preview of what we saw with the interview with Smuya, I would imagine it seems like they're in a honeymoon periods. All of that's happening right now. Because if he's saying tabseN's super good at IGL, that means everything's just going really well for them right now out of the gate, and he's getting a lot of freedom. So I'd imagine that period will cool off at some point when you start getting, when you're up against the real contenders and people start to understand what you're doing. So I would expect them to absolutely blow up Heroic.
Yeah, I think Big has always been a really strong team. This is going to sound like I'm throwing shade at them, but they've been a really strong team online. And they haven't been able to translate that always to these big tournaments. And that's kind of the problem they've been running to. That's probably why Smuya thinks tabseN's such a good in-game leader. They're probably just blowing everyone out in practice.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why that wouldn't translate to LAN. Eventually it will. Like, that's why I don't even like thinking like that's a thing, right? A team is just only good online, because eventually it's going to translate.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, there can be things of individual confidence, or maybe you'll make a play which you might be hesitant to make. You might think is more risky when you're on LAN, and it's more, I won't say more serious, but there's more pressure. Yeah. There's definitely more pressure when you're not at home in your pajamas in your Hello Kitty onesie, doing what you do. So such is the nature of the beast. I think we need to get into our predictions. I'd be surprised if we saw a Heroic prediction, but I'll get mine out of the way. I'm going to go for the big pour of Big.
Do we know who's playing for Blame? I'm going to look. Surely.
Cadian's playing for Blame.
Cadian is playing for Blame.
Cadian's back. I haven't seen him for a while.
That's not a bad stand-in at all, actually.
Yeah.
My prediction is...
Man.
It's Big James.
Okay. Because he could be like, I need a hero,
Man, Heroic has a good lineup. They got Borup, they got Stavin, they got Easy Tag. I'm going to go Heroic. You know what? I have to go against you guys.
You mad?
He looks like he was wondering there.
I'm doing it.
I respect that.
I'm doing it. Big recently lost 3 maps to Furia on LAN, so...
I'm a big Furia fan.
I'm hoping...
They disappointed me.
Yes, they really disappointed me at the major.
Yeah.
What do you think of the roster team?
Henny for who went out again?
Able J.
Able J. I think Henny... Do you know what? I'm really happy to see Henny in a lineup that has structure and strats and so on.
Sure. He really hasn't ever had that.
Yeah, I feel like it's been Groundhog Day in the teams that he's been in. So I think he's a huge talent. But again, I think he's often ending up in teams where they're. I mean, what is their main? Yeah, what's Ark gonna do now? Because Henny's gonna snipe, right?
Abel's support roles, kind of like Abel would play spots that you'd never really see Art in.
Yeah, this is a problem. This is like, I wonder if the team made this change or the management made this change, because you're changing one player but you're changing 2 roles.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be a great pickup and it could be really strong.
Yeah.
Or they could just fall to pieces and not really get there.
It's like your chef quit in your restaurant, so you hire the CEO of Apple.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What's
so
going on here?
That might be the case. So if it works out, I think it'll be unreal. But is it going to work out? I don't know what to expect from Art, for example, and playing different roles. If you have to learn positions you don't normally play with a different weapon, no less. There's a lot of questions to be had there, but I would like to see success from them. I was a big fan of what they were doing.
I couldn't believe when they lost in the major. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I was sorely disappointed in that. So we've done the people predictions. Well, our people. What about the people out there? Well, here we go. This is reasonable. I think 28% is quite a lot actually for Heroic, all things considered in the current situation. That's pretty impressive that they've got 28% of the people's votes, because there are certain regions and teams like Brazilian teams, for example, where they're always going to have a big percentage in the people votes. But for a team like Heroic, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I feel like there's a more mature decision being made there.
Yeah. I think Heroic definitely has the players to win this match. I think if this was like a LAN setting, like I said, I think it's close to 50-50. But whenever I watch Big in these like online matches, they always play really well. They always go really deep in online qualifiers too. So,
all right, let's see the pinnacle odds then, because this is not the easiest one to pick. But they've put pretty big odds on Heroic as an underdog here, so they're not with you on that one, Sean.
Yeah, that's like similar to what we just saw in the last match.
Yeah,
like people really think Heroic's like a massive underdog. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, well, definitely he doesn't. I don't know what to expect from Big.
Yeah.
That's the problem here. There's a lot of question marks. But it's a best of 3 series, so we'll get to answer some of those questions. I do believe in Life is Live. So, yeah, Heroic with Cadian. It's always nice to see Cadian back. He's such a young player. It's kind of crazy considering how long a career he's had already. There's been, when we were moving, when FACEIT was just continuing to grow and we were going from tiny office to less tiny office to medium-sized office to large office, sometimes he'd be in our office, he'd be doing the talent stuff with us, or he'd be playing some of his scrims from our game room and so on.
Could we even get him to observe at some point?
Possibly.
As well.
But we've seen a lot of Cadian at different stages of his career, and it's nice to have that story continue.
Okay, well, you talked about the long takes before, Sean, on the T side, and here we see it again.
Just walked out. Silent take long.
Smooya, he's waiting. He's waiting for the push. Board up is going to be... Oh, I was about to say in for a surprise, but maybe it's Smooya in for a surprise.
Oh, knife kill was the first.
Pin drop right now.
Come on, start with the knife. Although Cadian could be
Yes.
ruining my ideas here. Was he going to see him? He started to creep, man. I was ready, but there we go. Never mind. Cadian around the smoke. That's a really cheeky frag from him. Some spam as he falls back for a 5-man retake versus the 3 of Big. And the bomb has fallen into CT spawn as well. It could hardly go worse. Tizian gets deleted. Everybody gets wrecked.
Pack it up,
3K
boys.
for Borup,
Those are
and he gets a
gorgeous
cheap
gloves.
helmet.
Those look...
I have those gloves.
They look like minwear. They look super nice.
Yeah, mine are minimal wear, and they look like factory new.
Yeah.
They got like no markings on them.
I remember I asked you about gloves, and you linked me to a pair that are like $700. Oh, thanks, James. No, thank you, though.
I got them for a steal, which was probably about that price, five to $700.
$1,000
But
steal.
they're worth a lot more than that because of how good quality they are. I sold my Howl to buy a watch.
Or a knife in this game.
I want my knife back down.
Okay.
You like how, what's that level? Is it Seaside? Is that a level?
A level?
A map? Seaside?
Seaside, yes.
Yeah. They have that model where he has a watch, right?
Yes, I love that model with the Jamaican accents as well.
Like
I'm throwing a flashbang. It's amazing. I really want those.
Did not know that.
Yeah, that's why I love the model.
Yeah.
Because of the voices. The watch is cool as well, but the I'm throwing a flashbang is so awesome. We need that in one of the active duty maps for sure. It's like the best thing.
We could have like more voice packs, like have more customization. Then that'd be so cool. Man, actually, be really cool if you could do all the voices, James. It's like all of them.
English SAS.
It's like that Waze app.
Yeah.
You can like record all the directions yourself.
Isn't oh, can you?
Yeah. I made that mistake of doing it a long time ago for Jennifer's Waze, and sometimes she'll put it on, and I hate it. I hate hearing my own voice.
I think Samuel L. Jackson is doing one of those things soon.
Well, this looks pretty
That would be
clean.
sweet.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Heroic haven't even really used much. Well, they've still got utility left too, so.
So Xantar's name, is it Yan? I feel like the C, I don't know, or is it, the C is like a G, I don't know.
Ooh, he's
I
got
don't know how
himself
to
a
pronounce
scout.
Turkish.
What else has he got? Maybe.
You're gonna let him live after time? Oh, I love this. Just let him live. Let him live.
Oh, saved at the last moment. That almost went bad. I forgot about Xantares.
Isn't it crazy?
Everyone did.
Yeah.
Because he went to big and.
He went to big and he
Surprise,
just hasn't had
surprise.
the impact.
I don't think it's too surprising because of the language issue, I think it's got to be huge. And then secondly, Xantares came up on Space Soldiers, and he played with them for a very long time. It's a very different team. It's a very different team.
I can tell you, playing against Xantares in FPL is a nightmare. He is so good.
What is it in particular? Is it just
He's just taking every aim tool and winning. I don't know. It's just...
Oh, that's a big advantage to have.
Yeah.
I miss his old team. I'm sad that they collapsed.
Yeah, like
Space Soldiers
Calyx.
were really good. Pads, Calyx.
It's really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Man, there were so many times they got gatekeeped by Virtus.pro trying to qualify for ECS. It happened, I think, 3 times in a row, where Virtus.pro were in a relegation match and they beat Space Soldiers, and it went, I think, 5 maps, or I think it was a best of 5, I want to say, and it went all 5 maps almost every time. At least twice it happened, maybe 3 times. It's a
They
real
were always
shame
an
for them.
exciting team to watch.
Yeah, and that might have made a hell of a difference, especially, you know, I'm making assumptions. I don't know how they were compensated with Space Soldiers, but you hear that it was not much. I mean, the Turkish currency has gone to absolute pieces as well. So
The Lira? Is that what
yeah.
it's called?
This is what we were talking about before. When you get to Catwalk and you throw those initial smokes to bait out the CT utility, then you kind of re-execute. But Big had to wait. They've dropped the smoke again. And are they going A? Are they going B? It's still very unclear, but there's no time left, so they're going to have to push the issue, stab it below to take down 1. And looks like they'll go for retake here. Heroic. They are going to just take long control and then wait for the B players to get to Catwalk, or will they go through CT? Seeing more teams taking their players through CT. Smia's ready for that one. This doesn't look good here for Heroic now.
Hot flash towards long. There's a 1 kit on S-Tag. He is very key. If he goes down, the round goes to big. Double peek. Smooya gets taken out. Krieg collected, and now S-Tag is alone with 26 HP, so perhaps it's time to try to save. Not sure how likely it is. Now I know how likely it is. Not very likely at all. The first round on the board for Big early.
That was a really good round by Big. They did such a good job of getting map control, making sure the CTs couldn't push any location. That cat execute was very long, drawn out. They cleared all the angles properly. You can see Smooya setting up that flash for them to peek long mid-round. They did so many things well that round. I wasn't scared at first. I'm a little bit scared about my pick.
Crazy, Sean. Cat push from Heroic. They've only got some M4s. They want to mitigate the disadvantage they have in utility and weapons in the push, taking the initiative, but it's not worked out for them. I don't know that there was a flashbang to stop Smooya there, but either way, it's now an even worse situation for Heroic. Trying to distribute those rifles. Yeah, Big look like they are playing in quite a disciplined fashion so far.
This is night and day compared to what we saw with BP in that last map.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like how methodical this is, clearing out the map.
Quiet, edging forward in that long position. There's a jump throw Molotov from the barrel outside the long doors towards the car to clear that position. Big have made it into the pit. 40 seconds remaining. They've lost one of their lurkers on shore, but there's another one on the way.
They only have 1 smoke too.
You can throw it to CT from long, actually. MSL made a smoke for it, but
Their smoke's actually on Catwalk.
well, you can throw it from Catwalk as well. It's a hell of a lot easier from Catwalk. It's a very simple lineup, which you can see Sanji throwing in the Avangar execute. Actually made a video about that this week. But they'll be successful. Big and S-Tag and Snappy will make their way to try and save. The MSL one from long is a really good one to learn. So it's up on my YouTube as well.
Is that
He's
just
not happy about.
like which one is that?
So you're close to the corner of the ramp, and he has a lineup to just bounce it off the wall,
Oh,
basically. Yeah, so you line up with something on the floor, stand in a particular place. I'll show it to you later.
I like how abusive Big are playing in terms of playing exploiting the strengths of the T side on this map. Because I think, like Sean pointed out before, they're playing really slow, methodical in a fashion that Heroic can't be aggressive against them. They actually just can't, because they'll just get caught off reliably. If they do it, they'll be doing it with a huge disadvantage. And then Big just play the set pieces and the rotation game like really well. And they're kind of giving Heroic no chances, or very limited chances to do much so far.
Yeah, I don't really know what you would do if you're Heroic in these situations, because your catwalk upper isn't going to get any shots against what I've seen. I would say like upper B pushes and taking tunnels control a lot probably help them out, ease the rotations. But the way they're pinching the A site, they need to retain long control.
Pop.
There
It's
he
just a
goes.
Krieg waiting.
Krieg is so satisfying. It's like a standard weapon in Metal Gear Solid. Just moving around, open a box. Long taken by Big. Xantares looking for aggression, finding some. Falling back, he knows that it could be compromised from the rear, and indeed, in the rear, but with no gear, is Stavern. He will not last long. 1 minute on the clock. Heroic continue to move towards those long doors. Another roll exchange. There is a weapon to be collected here in T-Spawn, which I hope Snappy has noticed. He just ran past it.
It's like no way in at any point. There's just no way in.
They seem to want to... I don't know if they're just paranoid that someone's going to make a play, but they seem to want to try and do something here. But I think they could be saving a lot of money with the weapons available to them in T-Spawn. But Snappy will lose his rifle. Now, you can see S-Tag is creeping on short with the MP9, but there's really nothing to be done there, I don't think. 2 versus 5. There's a rifle in T-Spawn. Could have had 3. So I think, for me, I would have liked to have seen them prioritize their own money, especially on a CT side of Dust 2. Not easy.
This is going to be a really tough half for Heroic.
Yeah, and now that other rifle's not going to be rescued, S-Tag is playing to take money away from the T side. See that rifle on the floor? So they could have had 3 rifles and kept a lot of money for the long run.
This is like what we saw at the Major, where it just seemed like the CT economy was just always on the brink of getting broken.
Yeah.
And the Ts were just always capable of just winning the rounds. So it was just perpetual buys like this, time and time again.
So we see there's a mixed bag in utility. There's an MP9 for S-Tag. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I would have liked to have seen them trying to save 3 rifles there rather than kind of poke at a team who have long, short, well, long and A, and 5 players alive. But there we go. I'll let go of it now. Borat playing close to the smoke, which is cool. If they try to push, he avoids the flashbangs, and he can trap them in the smoke and spray them without them seeing anything. But he'll eventually have to quietly walk away.
That's damper 2 damage. Make it.
Now, Heroic seem to be taking the short position. Already, no, the CT spawn, excuse me. So we've got a pit player in Borat, but if there is a long take from Big, then there's no support flashbangs or utility from his teammates, which is really important to try and hold that position. But again, there's no aggression just yet, so we'll see. Cadian moves back to A. He's got 1 flash and a decoy, which could be used as a fake.
I feel like Big is really hard to read so far. Here comes a late long take. Nice frag from Tizzy and a trade from Smooya as well. So long has been taken. Bomb's actually down. No one's got the bomb. So that might be something that they'll have to remedy rather soon. Nice pick from Stavin. That's a really key pick as well, to allow there to be presence from the CTs in middle. Oh, Stavson though, he's going to catch S-Tag, and there goes Xantares as well. And maybe, well, that is the round, surely. As Snappy can't do anything to prevent the bomb from being planted at this point, and a retake is not on the cards. Doesn't have a kit, no utility. Looking to save what he can. It doesn't feel, again, it doesn't feel like Heroic have anything to stop Big right now.
Yeah, I don't think Heroic looks bad. I think Big looks really, really good right now. Like,
Yeah.
they would have to have some really good setups and pop flash peaks and I guess if Borup's smoke was a little bit better timed right there, he could have gotten closer to the door and maybe got that first kill. But I mean, what Big just did was so smart. They were going to go for a long take initially. They realized that the CTs were playing long, so then they got catwalk control really quick. They heard the smoke on catwalk and the rotate, so then they went back and went long. It was just like they're always just going in the direction that the rotations tell them to go, which is how you should play Dust 2.
I was gonna say, like, it's like the fact that they just they're playing the map really well, and it
Yeah.
almost feels like Heroic need. It's like one of those spots where strategically, tactically, you're kind of getting outplayed, outread, and that kind of should happen to a certain extent on this map because the T's have so many advantages in that sense of how to exploit your rotations. But you need a star player, someone to go off from Heroic's side. Someone needs to go off, have a crazy round. Nice take of long comes in with Xantares actually on the entry. But here we go, Deagles. Maybe they can make things a bit more difficult here. If we go into this and have to go into it, they go for the trades. Confident in the Kriegs, and there you go. 3 kills for tabseN. Damage has been done, but the threat's short-lived. As Big look fairly comfortable. They're looking to see if they're just holding now. They're using the time that they have on the clock to just make things safer.
Yeah, I feel like Heroic has to do something aggressive towards the B tunnels. Nex has been going there solo quite a few rounds. Big's defaults are really heavy towards top mid right now. And they're relying on long takes, like I said earlier, so I don't know. Heroic needs long control early, and they need to push upper B mid round.
Rough start for Heroic.
Someone's picked the right site though. There's a world.
28 seconds, yeah. The position he's playing in might not be checked either, but the Molotov is...
Wow.
Oh, have they got an audio cue from it, though?
What a
Perfectly
great
placed
Molotov.
molly, yeah. It's a really good molly from when you're on long. It's a very common spot for somebody to be hiding behind the short boxes because it's a headshot position once you're on the site.
it's like, there's one chance, but then the chance is taken away with utility. So it's like it's effectively the checkmate move there from Big with the Molotov.
I believe this is the first time we're going to see the double op come out of Heroic.
Yes, that's true, and I like this. A fast timing from Big, down towards suicide for ultra fast cat take. Really big fan of that. Looks like Heroic have an inkling. There's some counter utility going down to slow the progress of Big, allow more time for Heroic to position effectively. And tabseN's going straight to CT spawn. Caught by Snappy though, and the B split is on. Tags, or rather, sorry, the frag's going the way of Heroic, ultimately leaving a 2v4 situation. But the silver lining here is that there's plenty of time for Big, and that Smooya's on an AWP.
Scope should be heard by Cadian. You can see him adjusting now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of utility to use. Oh, HE could be devastating here if he chose to throw it, but with the AWP, hard to get the grenades out. Oh, that's glorious. You love to see that. Tizian now, 1 versus 4. Difficult angle to take, jiggling from Cadian, but he has plenty of angle towards the site itself. They'll swing together and finish off the job, and that'll be a 3rd round for Heroic, a 4 players surviving, 2 AWPs continuing into the next round. A positive, a promising situation from them.
Yeah, Easy Tag got aggressive towards upper B, caught Nex in that solo B tunnel position. But something to note is Big sent 5 players towards like mid A side. Nex went B tunnels through middle, which is like, it's very creative and unique. I don't know if I've seen a team do that in order to like hold the default. Kind of cool.
Looks like we'll have a slower play from Big this round. Keeping things very relaxed. Next doing what he's been doing towards tunnels as usual, but everybody else towards long at first. Now developing that default, developing that catwalk control. And Big, they didn't have too much success in the B play. Stavin playing a interesting position here. This angle is certainly going to catch players off guard, but comes some utility to make life a little bit more complicated. Response from Heroic towards those double doors.
That's the smoke for CT. Like you saw there, lined up with the top corner of the building. Becadian knows what to expect on the timing. Very cheeky frag from him, can fall off, and the smoke actually helps him rotate back. So that's an interesting counter. I always think with that setup smoke, it's nice if you can spam behind it with HE grenades. Big struggling to get around this position. Again, telegraphing their intentions, and Cadian is dealing with it amongst his teammates. Spotting the barrel of a gun on that short plant position, and Big doesn't look like they're going to plant the bomb in this round. Heroic seem to be adjusting at the moment, and it's early enough where these adjustments can have quite the impact. No one lost in this round, so if I'm not mistaken, I think that's 9 surviving 2 rounds, which is really good for their money.
This was such a good play by Cadian right there. Like that literally won them the round. Then he rotates to long to get this frag, spams someone through the box top A. It was all over the place that round.
Nice. I do want to see more counters to those kind of plays on short. Like when the smoke is up, so you can throw the molly on the ramp position to limit the cover for the CTs. Double HEs could do.
You know what I want to see? I want to see CTs play retake on A, and the second they hear the bomb plant, they just double, triple nade the bomb plant spot. Because T's always play in the same spot. They can nade it from spawn and long.
Yeah,
just immediately kill the planner. And then they have, then all the smoke dissipate, some guys to take that role. It's just like a total mess for the T's. I don't know why a team doesn't do it.
I want to see at least double nades behind that setup smoke on short. At least.
Well, since the double ops have come into the hands of Heroic, they've had plenty of success. And Big are going to be changing things up. They've got the AWP, single AWP on Smooya. Perhaps he will lead the way into a pick against Esatag.
With the Astralis smoke from Catwalk.
It's going to be very difficult, though. Smooya's got to be on point. He can send the area to slow things down. And to check for that corner. HE follow up as well. Heroic definitely feeling that there might be a play towards B. We've got 3 players towards B now as well, so this is going to be a lot of work for Big.
No pot shots. That smoke is lower than you might have liked. And the flash as well. Oh, this one is going to be a pain. There is one. The flashbang, though, will certainly help. S-Tag looking good with the AWP as well. Snappy by the car. And it is a shooting gallery. Smooya moving in with the AWP. Tabson just about getting there. 30 seconds. There's still something to be done here. So in this interview, I'm pretty sure Smooya was saying about walking into B, taking out 3 players when there's 20 seconds left. Well, that's pretty much what he has to do here. But he has Tabson to run distraction and make the CTs a little nervous. Great work from him. Smooya has half the information. There's a rotation as well. 10 seconds, though. And it's about buying time. And surely it's too late to win the round. He's missed his shot. And he's dead. Just as you said, looking to the floor after missing the shot. And that's a wrap. He knows it's over. Just trying to hide in the ground.
Yeah. Looking at the ground in shame.
Head in the sand.
Where we go flying drones, there's rabbits, chipmunks, I think. There's something which burrows into the ground. There's just holes in the ground everywhere. So I don't know if chipmunks do that, but I've only seen chipmunks and rabbits there.
Moles, maybe?
Perhaps.
Zares finds his way through the smoke. Oh, he can't get the follow-up, though, but Tizian can. But this has been an absolute massacre. What a great trade from Heroic. And now you can see the action there. There's 4 Snappy up middle to try to cut off the back. Tizian does find his way around, but no bullets in the AK to finish anything off there. So another round goes the way of Heroic. And we were saying that Big will look so strong at the beginning. And since those double ults came out, it seems like that was the momentum that Heroic needed. Because Big is starting to struggle.
Yeah, ever since the double off buy, like you said, this has gone completely the other way. That was a cool long hold by Heroic. They threw the smoke over the wall to go in the doors. They threw the molly off the wall. And you can see Big just had nowhere to go. Like, they were fighting in the open right there at long versus 2 M4s. They just got mopped up.
There was 6 frags in 4 seconds there on long. Cadian's got that rifle support, so important, especially in mid of Dust 2. Very fast rounds, not shy to take the... Oh, there's a bell ring. Oh, Nex has managed to get more out of it. But Tizian might not get much more. 2 kills though, maybe they'll be happy with that. It's so hard when you're the last T standing and your position known because the CTs can take such ridiculous positions. There's so much of the map that's safe for them. The best example of that is on Mirage. But it's Dust 2 for now, 7-5. There's 5 rounds now in a row for Heroic, so most certainly they adjusted. Big on the buy once again.
Yeah, Heroic's in a good spot. They can pretty much buy out for the rest of this half, so...
This is the real test, I think, for a team like Big post-God B is your plan B and plan C. You've hit your plan A, you got 5 rounds on the board, Heroic adjusted. You need a plan B, you need to find a way to change things up and find success and give them a reason to adjust once again.
Yeah, it seems like tactically Big has tried other things, like that long rush just now, the full-out B hit, you know, that we saw a couple rounds ago. Neither worked. I don't know why they strayed from what was working early game, though.
I always wonder why we stray when Connor calls for a rush into the B-bomb site of overpass. And we've won 6 rounds in a row, playing great counter-strike. Anyway, another charge into the long position as Tizian's turn to be facing the wall, avoiding the flashbangs. This time there's no war of attrition just yet. Snappy feels comfortable to pull a grenade out, takes one in the face. And there is long taken by Big, and very quickly they've got 4 players in the short position. Heroic are in trouble on the A-bomb site.
Counter-incendiary comes in, but that might not hold them at bay for all too long because Cadian goes down straight away. Xantares with that lethal precision out with the headshot, and Borup tries to survive. Creates space with the smoke. It's actually going to work out for a frag. His teammate will go down though, and there's not enough space for him to maneuver, and that looks like Big are good for the plant, and S-Attack might be, well, he's good for the save. Surely the only response here. And indeed, Big. Looks like they will find some success after a drought.
So that's that adaptation, though, that you were looking for, James. They did a fake long rush right there to kind of counter what I was saying. The smoke over the wall, the molly at blue bin, flashes coming over. Obviously, 3 people are trying to stop that long rush normally for Heroic. They respond by faking a long rush and just running up Cat as quick as possible. And they caught Heroic off guard with it.
Great stuff, and they've made it very expensive. Second last round though, Heroic they'll be good anyway, but it will certainly help to hold on to this AWP. I love that position S-Tag was in free-for-all deathmatch when someone's there. Like when someone's going to appear from a ramp and you try and judge where their head's going to be. Pop them. Alright, Heroic now looking for round number 8 after some short-term success from Big Clan. See what Big will take into this. Double Krieg, double AK, single AWP. Smeo has a spawn for wards long. The bullet comes in, and he stands there long enough to take out Stavin. Worth only loses 34 HP. Pretty good situation for him.
This is that infamous Dust 2. 5-on-4. You know, 2 people are A, 2 people are B. Big has been abusing rotations this entire game.
Tag wanted to go beyond that smoke. I think he thought it was going to go a little further. Cadian is being expected by Tizian, but he still takes one in the face, Tizian, leaving it a 4 versus 4. 3 make it 4 players outside the B bomb site. So 4 versus 2 on B. Did they boost behind it, perhaps? Apparently not. Existence used to love trying to boost behind smokes in the Dust 2 halls, but it's rare you get something out of it.
Yeah, you have to do that triple boost in the back.
Mm. Yeah, for just a normal smoke, 2 people's just not enough.
So Big really creating a lot of questions for Heroic. They can't really make any movements. Play from Cadian up short was fantastic, and now he's on long, so that might be That might not be anticipated by Heroic, and with the AWP, that means that KD might be good for a free kill. We'll have to see if he's going to find something. He's definitely going to hear some movement here. Oh dear, that's the leg shot onto tabseN. Very unfortunate for Cadian. Now Borup all alone. He's getting pinched from both sides. Tries to get some cover. Beautiful work from him. Takes down Xantares. Now he can put full attention towards the long positions, but it's very difficult, and they will take him down regardless. 6 seconds to go, no less. Very well done.
Very well done. I thought Cadian was definitely going to walk away from that scenario with the frag. It's a good little shoulder peek on the corner. And then the pinch was in. And once that pinch was on with Xantares coming from Catwalk, I think he went a little bit too early. But Borup was in a very difficult situation.
Last round of the first half, double scout for Heroic. tabseN will take the peek towards long. Double HEs, avoids one of them. Oh, the jiggles. How has that happened? I think he was unfortunate not to land that shot on long. Looks like it was on, but apparently it wasn't. Now we're going to push into the B bomb site. S-Tag creating some space, making it a little awkward for the T side, but they're still delivering the kills. Man advantage now. What can Cadian really do? There's a tag and there's a frag. Second kill for him with the scout in the B bomb site. Not words you'll say very often. And suddenly Heroic have the man advantage.
Yeah, just enough utility though for Big to not just get the bomb down, but to get some post-plant utility thrown out there to delay things even more for Heroic. Double scout and an AWP, that's really weird for Heroic on a retake. The AWP to Smooya will certainly be very useful. Looking for that play above the smoke, which is so common. Swap out for the rifle there. And Tizian might get himself 2 on the spray down. They will try to force their way through the window. The third player coming through as well. And they will feed themselves into Big, and that's it. 8-7. Big do end up having one more round at the end of the first half, but this is truly very open. Find out what will happen after the break.
Would you rather stay? I watch you be and slowly walk away. I would rather leave. I'll take your heart and wipe it off your sleeve.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. It is time to find out who will be the winner of Dust 2. We've got ourselves Big with a very slight lead, but can they find themselves a pistol? They will be on the CT side. Now, maybe that will make things easier. We'll see. It was very even in the first half. I was really impressed with Heroic.
Here's that mid-B split. I don't know if this is going to work given the setup.
Better odds for Heroic. Okay, 1 for 1, as Anders would say. Tizian abusing the range of the USP. S-Tag's got the P250 though. He's the raidable, sir. Been dropped 1. He's got his Kevlar. But will it have any impact? It didn't for Big on the T side. Next, trying to deliver that extra frag. He's got some support flashbangs from his teammates, but he's at the point of no return. 3 versus 2 now, but it's all about the headshot, so things can change quickly. Utility usage very good by Big. Tabson isolating a 1v1. Oh, that's beautiful from Tabson, leaving S-Tag alone. And there's the P250. Smooya now moving up, but he's kind of trapped. Again, it's about a headshot. Smooya! 9 rounds for Big. That was very back and forth.
That was sexy from Tabson, though.
It was juicy.
2 bullets, 2 frags. I was so rooting for him to get that 3rd one.
Yeah, he's really taking his time with it. So rough spot for S-Attack, you know, playing the headshot there. It feels like he removes his advantage of the PT50. But either way, it was a force buy from Heroic, who have quite a lot of utility, which indicates to me they'll probably go for a catwalk play, get that short plant. That's usually somewhat guaranteed. Oftentimes the CTs give a lot of space to you, so you get a catwalk for complete free on a round like this. So you can use that to use a couple smokes, some flashbangs, and just get yourself a plant on cap. But it looks like they want to go for the burst towards the middle position instead. So see how well this works out. Tabson with the spray through the smoke is going to do excellent amounts of damage. Next on the other side of things to finish him off with the MP9, and it is not looking good for Heroic.
Awkward situation.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard to rebound from. It's all on Tizian, though.
Stavin and Cadian are surrounded.
Won't even get to him.
90s action
God.
movie. Helicopters are up. Searchlights are out. Hiding in a construction site. Separated. Tizian with the MP9. Looking to drill like it's home improvement. Ooh, that's a nice shot from Stavin.
Michael Schofield and Lincoln Burrows.
Yes.
That's who's left right now on T.
Prison break.
Season 1 before the helicopters and all that nonsense.
Yeah. It's really downhill.
It's turning around now. Big have got the HP. 30 seconds for Heroic. There is some time pressure for them. So in that respect, Big have an advantage. Moving in for the kill. Oh my god. Stavin is just putting in so much damage. Quick decision making. Oh, they've got a cross. This could be it. The spray down. Oh, he's got 14 HP. He can't jump on the ledge. Oh no! Stavin with so many kills. 4K with next to no. He goes from 7 to 4 HP in that exchange. What the hell just happened?
The big bold play right there at the end, just running in with the Deagle. Oh, Stavin, you beast. What a round to win. With that M4, and let's not forget, by the way, Smooya had about 4 different peaks with that M4 against Stavin.
Yeah.
And he couldn't kill him.
I don't know how Heroic just stole that round. It felt like it was all over when they got out mid.
That is insane that first of all, that Smooya of all people doesn't get that kill, and then that's what it became. It became a loss of a round. That is really nuts. Another double peek here, using the elevation. Love to see that, just with a simple flashbang. And that will deal with the catwalk position. And I think it's good that you see Heroic taking catwalk. I think sometimes teams are afraid to take catwalk because of the closer ranges, but with utility, it's actually pretty favorable on the T side of things. And once you have catwalk, I think it's just impossible. It's so difficult for the CT side. You can develop the round in so many ways once you have catwalk.
Yep, they've avoided disaster, it looks like. 5-on-2. Looks like Snappy's about to get long control, which will cause them to go A into the 2 players, unfortunately. They might rethink that now. Yeah, you can see. That'll cause them to roll into B, and the round's over.
Save the armor, save the UMP.
That Krieg skin was insane.
That is ugly as hell.
So ugly. So ugly.
It's one of the ugliest skins.
I have a shirt that looks like that.
You have a what?
Why would you do that to yourself? Whose idea was that?
You say a shirt?
Yeah, well, I guess it's not exactly like that, but it's like
A shirt which looks like a prison fence.
A what? A prison what?
Fence.
Fence.
I don't know what it looks like.
What do you refer? Why does
It
everything
looks
come
like
back to prison with you, James?
Oz was just a great show, wasn't it?
It was a great show.
Listen, James and I have done hard time. All right, Dan.
No, the BC's a legend.
There is this like part of your brain which is like, how do I reference this back to prison? Like, it just, everything you say will go through this like filter of like, is there something I can? Will that work?
What if this was in prison?
So, oh man.
Okay, 9-9. Was it Louis Theroux? I think Louis Theroux did a show where he went around a prison talking to inmates and stuff. That was quite interesting.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I've only seen like a couple of his docs.
I want to say there was one in a South African prison, which was...
Sounds like a place you don't want to be.
No, that ain't the prison you want to be in, for sure. It really, really, really isn't.
Not like those other good ones.
Yeah. 9-9. Okay, is there some kind of data issue? At least one of the players' internet connections. There was somebody in an English prison recently went live on Instagram.
That's impossible.
Yeah, they went live on Instagram, so people are using drones to like drop in phones, drugs, and
Or
just throwing them over the wall. Just throwing them over the wall. Like,
Jesus.
why don't they just put like glass ceilings on the prisons or something?
It's the bigger wall.
It's literally like danger zone.
Yeah.
Drone comes in, drops you
Yeah,
off.
yeah. It really is danger zone. I was thinking of making like a mini fake blue case like they have in Danger Zone and attaching it to one of my drones and just flying around and being
Ooh.
stupid.
I like it.
It might be fun. So we're gonna head to a break. There's someone's got some kind of data packet issue or something. So we're gonna give them a chance to sort that out. When we're back, it will be more Dust 2 between these two teams. 9-9. It's pretty close. We'll see you back here soon.
Nobody's gonna hold your hand when it comes to healing. Nobody's gonna understand why you still feel the way you do. Even on my lonely days, I know that I am still loved. It's pretty often that I feel I just don't fit in, and that's okay, 'cause everybody's different, and not everything works out. Sometimes I just need to step back and value who I am. Sometimes I miss where I be here. Up and down, around and back again. Year after year. Nobody's gonna save me. Nobody but myself. So I better get to it. Money don't mean shit. All that matters is what I leave behind. Money don't mean shit.
welcome back. Thank you for your patience. And I remember reading about TCP, UDP. I did some Cisco qualifications when I worked in IT. HE grenade deep into long will do next to no damage. That's somewhat disappointing. But we've got 5 heroic players now making their way through the long doors, although Borup will go back. Nice to keep an eye on things and see what's up. Big already have positions around a short area. This is pretty much an eco round for Big. They've got a UMP, which I think was saved from the previous round then. The odd grenade here and there, and a P250 here and there as well. 3, in fact, a trio of P250s.
This is a very scary round. They're about to run into all 5 CTs. And that smoke is definitely not going to help.
That is way.
Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's real rough.
This is a really bad situation.
Abandon plan.
Oh, yeah. You still have a minute. You still have a whole minute.
S-Tag could smoke CT spawn. And they could, well, they could have used the mollies, but now they've dumped all of their grenades and they still have the smoke issue.
I feel like people never feel like they can go back.
Yeah.
Even when there's loads of spots where you can do it. Because this is really rough right now. Stavin's got good position.
Oh, this is awful.
Oh, he's playing the headshot.
He's the only person fighting on the site. No one else is doing it.
Oh, no, they can't get across because of the Sony players and the smokes went away. And this is an absolute disaster. They still might be salvageable from this position, but it's definitely looking rather complicated.
Yeah,
Nice
like
flick from Cadian.
they've stabilized. They should still win this round.
It's really scary though, that P250, those P250s lurking around the corner, Borup trying to go close. Oh no! Does make it happen, but still, it's I would have also enjoyed the abortion of that plan.
Yes. UGLY. You ain't got no alibi.
I bet you were singing that in school. Scumbag
I don't
Sean.
know where that came from, to be honest. Like, where did I hear that?
People didn't sing that in the UK.
No?
Yeah, it wasn't really a thing. Okay.
Dang, Heroic's a team that just likes to put all of their eggs in one basket, huh? This is just a 5B hit now.
North-esque barrage of one particular area. 10,492 kills on the Krieg. That's a lot. Definitely worth picking up, acquiring some skills for. And there's a good demonstration that you don't actually need to scope in all the time. I think people are going a bit crazy with the scopes at the moment. It's still more accurate than the AK-47 without the scope, so. Oh, so glorious! He's got a good example of the bulldozer Krieg there. Ooh. It's nice with a Space Soldier's Hollow or foil on the scope.
Have you been using the Krieg over the AK?
I always forget to. Do you know, before like long before all of this, before it became super popular when the price came down, I used to use the Krieg, but I just forget to use it because, you know, I don't use the buy wheel to buy.
Sure.
I just type all my buys out. So B42 is just so ingrained in my muscle memory. I always forget to buy the Krieg. I like using it, I just forget.
If you had like a P250 and your teammates just killed 2 people and there's an AK and Krieg on the ground, which one should you grab?
It depends on the situation because with the AK, if I need to spray, I'm way more familiar with the spray.
Yeah.
With the Krieg, I need to keep up practice. I actually went into the recoil training map to improve my spray, which with the Krieg, which I improved dramatically. So it depends. If I'm at a good place with my spray, I'm not expecting to spray with it, but if I need to, then if my spray's on point, then I'll go with the Krieg.
I think one thing with the Krieg that's kind of disgusting in that scenario is that if you have just one Krieg, you can take certain angles that you can't really win reliably with an AK, but with a Krieg you can. Like for example, let's say this box peek, like when you're peeking against the end of the plateau. If you crouch peek that and line it up with a Krieg, you've got so many options there. These headshot positions. There's lots of scenarios like that. Really good, but all up close, and it's doing some good damage next with 2, but still more players to go as Heroic are putting almost all their eggs in one basket. S-Tag working on the flank. He needs to drop into CT spawn immediately. There it is, but will he get anything from this? His teammates are having to go back. He's got to be really careful. Beautiful shots, though, with the Krieg. And all the CTs are now in the B-bomb site. And A is totally open.
Yeah, the scope is nasty.
That totally changed the complexion of this round.
Took out the player so close. And now Big have been outmaneuvered, and 12 is looking fairly likely for Heroic. Xantares with 9 HP, what can you really expect in this situation?
Dude, that Krieg that S-Attack has with some Na'Vi stickers on it.
No, space soldiers, mate.
It would be so sick. Well, Na'Vi, I feel like Na'Vi a bit more relevant right now, James.
Yeah, but it's about aesthetics.
Yeah, but Na'Vi's
That's like saying,
yellow,
why would you put iBuy power stickers on there? Because they don't have a team.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it makes more sense.
This is why you're not a skin man. I'm the skin man.
Not all about aesthetics, man.
I'll get that Na'Vi sticker on the barrel right at the end.
Connor, you need to inspect my gun. The Krieg, the Bulldozer Krieg in my inventory has the space soldier sticker on.
I would go with the Na'Vi sticker. I agree, Dan. We're men of culture, taste, you know?
The Na'Vi sticker looks nice as well. Yeah.
It's like if I were to give you a pair of shoes, James, are you going to want the Adidas or are you going to want the Skechers?
You know, it's hard to argue that analogy. It's hard to argue, man. Do they even make shoes for men? Skechers? I have no idea. Skechers always makes me think of San Francisco, where the big Hilton Hotel is, because opposite is Skechers. You turn left and left, and there's like hand-to-hand drug deals. You turn right, and it's Union Square. It's a very stark difference.
San Francisco is an interesting place.
Yeah. It's covered in human poo as well.
It is indeed, actually.
There's an app where you can look up where human poo was last reported. Is that crazy?
And the whole city is covered in poo.
Yeah.
It's actually true, Dan. Dan's looking at us like, this isn't true. No, it's true.
It is. If you put a timeline of like the last year, the entire city is covered in human poo. Heroic trying to extend a 3-round lead in the first game of this best-of-3 series. Tabson is dead. Bigger on the back foot. CT side, not easy on Dust 2, especially in a 4 versus 5 early.
So cat control. All there is on A is Xantares. There's a couple Molotovs as well, so that if they place those correctly, Xantares shouldn't be able to do too much.
Yeah, and there's no rotate in sight. He is all alone right now.
Now Molly for the slope. There isn't one, so he's got a chance to get some shots off.
Yeah, they're missing some detail here. Snappy had a Molly as well, but he's going to die first, and Xantares continues to delete and kind of fault Heroic for missing the detail in the execute here.
Yeah, they had this round in the bag with that one Molotov on Xantares. But look how much he played it perfectly too. He delayed for so long. It's still not over. Of course, the smoke goes down to cover the plant. Borup has moved towards Catwalk, so there's definitely much to be done. And there's a Xantares at shorty, big reposition for him, but it doesn't work out. Now it's up to Borup. What is there in terms of utility? Absolutely nothing. So that's good news for Borup. As he goes for the peaks here, wants to get himself the 1v1s, and he's going for the headshot plays. It's working out, but he can't find the last kill onto Nex. It's a good effort, but it should have always been around, I think, to Heroic if they just knew that Molly for the slope.
Yeah, I think Xantares played that really well, though.
Yeah.
I was shocked that he was the player that died on Cat.
There's my Krieg. That's my Krieg. Literally my Krieg.
I guess that does look pretty good.
It looks sick. It looks gangster.
What Na'Vi skin?
My Na'Vi skins are on my Glock, mostly. And those look cool as well. But the Krieg, you can see the Space Soldier sticker. It's pretty much the same yellow as well. It's more that yellow than the Na'Vi sticker, in my opinion. So
that looks kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie.
There we go.
Might be wrong.
How dare you doubt me? The amount of money I spent on these skins. You think I didn't consider all the options?
But you're saying about Xantares, Sean?
Oh, yeah. I just really liked his reposition. I can't believe he was the player that went all the way back around to Cat. Like, how did he even get there?
Yeah.
He still had two teammates coming up from CT spawn.
Yeah, I love how he gets those 2 picks and then just delays, knowing that it's about them being unable to break his position. And the weird thing is that what breaks his position is them finally throwing the Molotov. as well.
Yeah.
But perhaps they just don't have the lineup, whoever had it.
You know what would also look sick there? The fire
Oh, these-
warning, the yellow fire warning symbol would be the same color. Tizian with a two-man spray down. The garden hose is out in the mid doors, and Smooya will help turn things around for Big. Looking to get some consecutive rounds after the defuse in the round prior. 5 versus 2 with a minute 30 on the clock. That is a lot to ask for. Reload will be heard on short by one of the players. Big don't know where the second one is, so there won't be any aggressive taking of positions around the map. They are comfortable with their situation. Snappy spotted. Nothing doing just yet. Meaty HE. Snappy will slide down the stairs, leaving Caden alone, 1 versus 5.
It's a huge round for Big's economy, too. You can see if they would have lost this round, they would have been completely broken economically. So the fact that they're going to potentially win this round with 0 deaths, and it looks like Heroic actually probably force up and buy again. But they're in a pretty good situation now at this point.
Yeah, there was such a string of rounds from Heroic as well. And Big definitely the favorites in this matchup. Heroic looked really bad a couple weeks ago. They had a horrible week. Perhaps it was due to them losing Blame F. Maybe that was already known at that point. It's hard to say.
Yeah, the Cadian wasn't there at the time.
They just had a couple players coming into the lineup as well. So, because they just lost 2 other players. So, a lot of movements in the Heroic lineup. Oh, there we go. There's the kill that Cadian's been patiently waiting for. Late peek from Xantares is punished. And now he tries to escape. Nice follow-up shot as well.
Has to live.
And he goes down. So, good effort. Extracting an extra couple kills out of that one. And that's going to definitely set Heroic up nicely should they find a way to win this round.
Yeah, I feel like if Cadian saves there, they full buy for sure here. But since he died, I think they might do like a pistol force, like a half buy.
Snappy's bought a Krieg. But the round loss bonus is not huge. However, he'll have money to buy his money stored together with his team. Cadian, however, I'm sure wants an AWP, so he can't spend too much. 5,900 is a comfortable full armor and AWP. Maybe a scout could be collected if he's not too concerned with grenades. So here we go. We'll soon find out. The hero Krieg from Snappy. Right now, no utility otherwise. I'm sure there'll be a late buy of something from someone. Some pistols being collected. Kevlar here and there. Utility for Cadian. He'll take a back seat. He's been dropped to Deagle by somebody. Enable his players with the utility. See what they can do. Snappy may be looking to catch a player jumping onto the platform. Nothing doing just yet, though. Big being careful, as people often will be. Oh, boy, that's 2 for Tabson. And he's going to get even more. An ace might be on here. It's going to be really hard to get anything done, but they will be able to. The Krieg is still in the hands of Snappy. They might even get a bomb plant out of this.
Yeah, with the smoke on the doors as well, that does allow them to actually get positioning post-plant. So, Krieg in Snappy's hands. There's a world where he can find something out of this, but over the smoke, his teammate will go down, and it will make life quite complicated. They have 2 incendiaries too. That should render Snappy useless. If they're able to get one onto the plateau, that's just a GG. Smoke into the tunnels, retake. Smoke's coming in from Big. Trying to do everything they can. Snappy turns away, doesn't expect a second player from the window. And the defuse will be had for Big. So losing 3 players. This is actually a great round from Heroic. They get a bomb down, they get 3 kills. Prevents Big's economy from really growing. And they themselves are going to have plenty of cash here.
Yeah, you felt like they weren't going to be able to walk out of that round with 3 frags and a bomb plant once Tabson got the double.
Yeah.
So that's a huge win for them because, like you said, if they just win one round, they're going to break Big's economy. And their money bonus is just going down every time Big wins a round. So this is a super important round.
Really big round. Round 25 on Dust 2. 3-0-2 set up for the time being from Big. Eyes towards CT spawn, but no eyes through mid right now. Again, where the CTs hide, the double stack in spawn, where you can look over towards the window for a mid to B. Very wallbangable, very sprayable. No one ever, ever, ever does it. Even when they're not trying to hide the fact they're through mid T sides. Can spray on both levels and land headshots. I'm ahead of my time.
So we've got ourselves the setup around Catwalk.
This is the CT spawn smoke.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have someone drop. That CT playing below in CT spawn has tabs in. I think he has the most important role here.
This is not looking good for Heroic, and knowing that they don't have the Molotov for Smooya's position, he should be able to go to town on them. Tabson makes it even easier though, and now Smooya's going to be activated. They don't even have a chance to consider his position. It's a standard one, there's the high flash. Smooya gets the spot, misses the flick, but the support's there for Smooya to lose a teammate as he goes for a kill, or rather a peek towards the catwalk position. Cadian takes him down, finding nice flick shot, hits the legs and next though. And indeed, it looks like Heroic's set piece is just not quite there.
Were they missing a rail smoke?
It looked like they were missing a rail smoke.
Yeah, they had the Avant-Garde one-way smoke on the box, right?
On the the cap.
And then the CT spawn smoke.
They had an earlier smoke, maybe to bait some counter grenades that it may have left them one short.
Yeah.
And maybe in the short term we'll see some issues like this. I mean, who knows? Maybe Blame F was the guy who was throwing the Molotov and someone forgot about it for the ramp. One can only guess for the time being. Now this is a bad spot for Heroic. They'll soon be on the buy. Max loss bonus is coming, but that's all well and good until you start to run out of rounds to lose. Big on 13, 4 in a row for them. Half by defuse, which shows that there's some progress from Heroic, but their success in this half has come to a halt. The Butcher buy is out once again. A lot of money spent in this run. They're really trying to win this run, not just do some damage. Plenty of utility, 4 players of Kevlar or more. Snappy's bought a helmet. He's against M4s, in fairness. Krieg for next. Wide swing in mid is taken out by Smooya. It will fall back. Not sure that they've identified the makeup of this round just yet, but they don't have to wait too long.
I like the drop down there actually with the rifle, just because if it is a play into the A bomb site, you don't need to trade to death there with a rifle, but you're more concerned by preventing the T's from getting up mid. I do like that drop off, and of course they have Smear on the bomb site. Some counter utility coming in. Heroic going for this.
Imagine a HE.
Plant at the very least on this bomb site. Can they get it?
Swinging. Tabson is so blind. That Molly did enough of a job. Despite being on the high ground, a short plant is in, and now they can try to focus on winning the round. The bomb to implanted, worst case scenario ticked off, bonus money achieved. Planting the bomb and losing, you get 4,200 at this point. But they want more than that, they want the W. Tizian starting to move forward. Coming into the low ground is really, really awkward. It goes from bad to worse for Big now. Smooya with next with so many targets. And Smooya has not much else left to do. The Deagles continue.
Wow. What
Snappy.
a hold by Snappy. I'm not sure who's calling strats right now for Heroic, if it's Snappy, Easy Tag, or Cadian. They've all called strats in the past, so could be any of them. But you could tell that was the hit on A they wanted to do the prior rounds. They threw the rail smoke and the Avant-Garde one way. I think there must have been a miscommunication and someone threw the CT spawn smoke that last round. This was the hit they meant to do, and you can tell they wanted to try it out. So that's why they went back to it again.
Wow, look at the situation they have created. What a time to break the CT money. 13-13, loss bonus in the bin after the successes. Santaro's with 1450. What do you do? What is the solution? What is the play here? Are you basically playing for overtime at this point?
Yeah,
Horrible scenario.
This really sucks because Dust 2 it's so difficult to win a round like this where you force out.
It's like the worst map for CT force buys. For sure, I think. Okay, well, I'm glad they go for the full save at least. Well, it's not quite a full save. I would have liked a full save.
Yeah,
I don't think the Deagle and the PT, even, you know, yeah, Deagle and PT50 and Flashbang. I mean, maybe the Flashbang.
I mean, it partly depends on how much money they're going to be left within the buy round.
Yeah, I don't think it's much though, right? Yeah.
It looks like the 14th is inevitable right now, based on the situation on the minimap.
All right, well, maybe Big will make some moves here. If they could steal away a gun, obviously you have Stavin lurking on the outskirts. If they could just pile in against Stavin, take him down, even if they lose 3 players, if they can find a way to save a gun, I think that's already a huge win. So let's see if they can find a way to do that.
Yeah, what really sucks for Big at this point in the game is obviously this is going to give Heroic 14 rounds. They're still going to be broke, but it's also going to give Heroic a situation where they're probably going to have buys for the rest of the game, unless they do significant economic damage this round or the next.
I like how, I don't know if it was on purpose, but Stavin had the M4 and he was a guy by himself.
Yeah.
Everybody else has way more valuable weapons. As far
That
as
is
CPs are
interesting. I
concerned.
noticed that as well when he had the M4 on the stairs. I was like, well, it doesn't even really matter if they get that.
Yeah.
I guess it matters because they're probably... I'm not sure if they're going to try to buy this next round, and that's why they full ecoed here.
It's going to be ropey, isn't it? I think they have to play for overtime at this point. Best foot forward, because this is...
Well, Nex can drop an
I mean, yeah, now that he has that
AWP.
M4, he could drop that.
You guys
They
are crazy.
only have 1 player without a rifle.
Yeah. They should probably go for it, honestly.
I'll play for overtime.
Scared money don't
They're
make
only,
money.
they're only 2 rounds behind. So I don't see why they should go for it.
It's a lot of HE nades.
They'd be
Hard decisions.
fighting with crap in this round. Either way. Buy or eco.
Oh, wow, what a great nade. And the follow-up even better.
That was a really sick combo.
Wow. Was that... I'm trying to think where he bounced that off of.
There's that little wall next to Xbox.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Ah, yes.
NOA stack.
Can hear a collection of weapons in the lower tunnel. Now this is one of those weird situations where Heroic might try to be too careful and get themselves in a situation they have too many advantages to end up in. But it happens a lot. People playing afraid to lose rather than with confidence to win. A minute on the clock. There's still only 1 rifle at present on the likes of Big, but there are 3 flashbangs. Love this position from Xantares. He avoids most flashes coming towards the long position. And surely he gets at least 1 bullet off. You're probably going to be looking towards the corner. Oh, Cadian's gone out first. Is that trade worth it? Instant rotation from B.
That could have been so much worse as well, but Smooya, the next obstacle for Heroic sitting on the bomb site there. Quick flashbang going out. That might not be checked for. Let's see if he can get out of there. Nope. Smooya with an awfully exposed position.
He had Tabson in CT spawn. I want to say that he had a flashbang to go through the smoke, but he can see the other side of the smoke where Smooya was looking. That was kind of awkward situation there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Smooya thought he was just going to get like a one-way over that smoke, but yeah, it looked really bad watching him, obviously. Yeah. It definitely did not look like a smart play.
Pick up from Tizian. They had to have secured 2 rifles, but they can't win the rounds.
It's looking dangerous for a while there. But maybe we didn't see the full potential on the A-bomb site. And it will be Heroic making it to game point. Big chose a double eco. For me, it was the sensible decision.
They have looked like the better team on the gun rounds. In my opinion, I know Heroic has like obviously a lot of rounds on their team.
Ooh, it's off the Xbox.
It's off the box.
Had his protractor out at
name.
home. It's a good reason to have a protractor on your desk. I don't know how it
I haven't used one of those in a long time.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, that's a lie. I used it recently. Well, not recently, but in the last year or 2, which is kind of recent for a protractor, to be honest. All right, then we've got a long hold by Big. That's a chunky one onto Borup. He won't be expecting this angle. There's one. Is there a response? We've got a combo with the flashbang, but it won't be enough to save him. Tabson's still here for the information. He knows that they still have long. Heroic rotating elsewhere. They already have Stavin on that short position. 2 of the 4 players on A for big. So we're looking at a 4 versus 2 situation. Will there be a response to this grenade, though?
Oh!
There's the HE I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, Smooya misses the jump shot, but the HE does the damage. The counter utility is really, really doing damage. Heroic. Oh, no. Smooya with another whiff there, and looks like huge issues now for Big. Heroic somehow managing to get through and get a bomb down as well. That is quite impressive considering how bad it looked for them. Stavin with a fantastic angle with the AWP. I don't think they're going to expect this. This is a flashbang. The peak comes before the flashbang, though, and now it's up to Tizian to do everything. The angle's just not, you can't walk into this angle, but he does, and he gets the kill. That is insane.
Still a very, very hard one-on-one to win here for Tizian. Off angle.
Ooh, he got a few bullets in there. Left Snappy on 40, but Snappy will leave with the map. 16 to 13 for Heroic. A very back and forth affair, as you can see from the scoreboard, but ultimately it will be Heroic in a surprise pip to the post of Big, taking the first game 1-0 now.
Really impressive considering that definitely Heroic going in as an underdog. And Sean actually picked Heroic. We all thought he was crazy, but maybe there's something to it, because Heroic actually, considering again, they have had so many lineup changes very recently. They perform really well here.
This was definitely a really, really strong performance by Heroic. I was surprised. Borup had an excellent game, in my opinion. They won like those weird grinded out rounds where it's 4-on-4s, 3-on-3s, the scrappy rounds, and they did a lot of damage even on the ones they lost, such as that round where they got the bomb down and got it down probably two CTs remaining. So I think this was an economic win by Heroic just based on how the rounds played out. I was really impressed with Big. I think this was overall a very good game.
I think I already know what the play of the game is going to be as well. It's going to be that Stavin 4K.
That comes at the end of the match, Dan. Yeah, let the host do his job. The highlights are brought to you though by NVIDIA. Thank you very much. End of the series, please. Just calm down. Know your role. Thank you very much. 3,400 damage. That is huge in normal time. Going above 3,000 damage is rare. 3,500 almost is. That's quite the unicorn right there. So indeed, Heroic take the first game 1-0, a close one, a very back and forth, very methodical, very slow game, but it has been taken by Heroic. We'll find out if Sean's predictions will come true. Maybe after the break, maybe after the break after that, but we'll see you back here in a few minutes.